think for this band even alone, even in one show, you could see it's not really we are playing this style of music. For this band specifically, we just try to play music that sounds good to us and feels right to us. So sometimes we would play a tune, and you could if you listen to one part of the show, you don't know really the style of music necessarily that our time is, I think.
Yeah, we're not really into genres. We don't really understand what they mean. Even the word jazz is not really, jazz can mean so many things. So we try to just play honestly, and we're influenced by a lot of music, not only jazz. So yeah, and every show is different. Every show is completely different.
Sometimes people call this style, which is mixing all these different styles, sometimes they call it New York style in a certain way, because they have a lot of more bands that don't go by a genre, but go by, and that's where we live. So I think that I've seen it called New York style in a certain way, which is the style is to have no style. The style is to have no limitations, no boundaries.
It's hard for us, again, we try to be honest with what we do and not really think, is this commercial or accessible, is this too crazy? And we got, luckily for us, we started touring Europe since 2009, and the reception was very good in different places, like rock clubs in Italy. We played big artsy museum, we played free improvisation concert, we played fun concerts. So that's what we like about this band. We can really feel free to go beyond genres, and to our surprise and happiness, people like it. People seem to like it.
It's the first time we play with our band in Hungary. We both played in different bands, but with this band it's the first time, so we're happy about it.
And I have played in this venue one time many years ago with a rock band that I toured with.
We played, this band is a mutual project. Reut is the leader, I'm the co-leader, and then we play with some bands that hire both of us, but we play with different bands, like Reut said, different kinds of music, different. We met Andrea actually, yes, in Austria. He came to see a duo show that we play, and he really liked it, and we really connected on a human level. And then we needed a bass player, and we took a risk. And it was fantastic, and we play with Andrea for the past 4 or 5 years all over the world. It's been fun. It's been great.
I started when I was 5 years old. My parents sent me to study keyboard. I had a small keyboard in a suitcase with stickers, and I practiced 5 minutes every day. And I did that for many years. Then I got an organ, 2 levels with a feet and everything, and then I got a piano. And then my girlfriend in school, she played the trumpet. And my mother said, oh, maybe you want to play the trumpet like your friend? And I said, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. We went to get a trumpet for me from the conservatory. And I said, I'm not good for the trumpet. I could play the trombone or the French horn. And the trombone had a slide, which is fun for whatever I was 10 or something. And also a female teacher. So I went with the trombone. And then I played both for some time, and then I dropped the piano. And I stayed with the trombone. I liked it. And from there it went. I went to a special high school for jazz music, and I continued with that. And somehow in high school I started to play with some professional musicians, playing some free jazz. And actually the free jazz brought me really the love of music really strong within me. And then after that I actually started playing more with all the other types of music, because I play a lot of different types of music. And I play with different bands, rock, Latin music, Jewish music, different.
Yeah, I'm not as academic as her. I chose drums when I was 4 years old. I made my first sets. I had great parents. They bought me a full drum set when I was 6. And I was lucky to study with Kenny Clark, the guy who actually invented modern jazz. Also, Oliver Johnson, a drummer who used to live in Paris. I lived in Paris for many years, a big influence on me. And so I had a chance to work with some great people. Never went to a school, a music school, but I got a chance to learn from great musicians, being close to them and watching them play.
We met in Israel when Igal was still living in France. It was one of the beginning of my playing with professional musicians, and Igal actually really pushed me really pushed me to continue with the music, and he taught me a lot about music. So we met in a gig in Israel, and then some years later I moved to New York. After I finished my service in Israel, I moved to New York, and it's a long story since then. We are living outside of New York, in New York City. Yeah.
We lived in New York in Spanish Harlem for 8-9 years, and we moved to New Jersey about 5-6 years ago.
For me, especially in New York, I play with really many different styles of bands. I play with great Latin music bands, great Jewish music bands, great rock bands, blues, punk, but a lot of also jazz, improvised music, classical, contemporary. It's difficult for us both, I think, to speak about jazz life in Israel because we don't live in Israel for so many years. But I think one thing is that you do see a lot of great Israeli musicians coming, a lot of jazz musicians coming from Israel, which sounds like it might be surprising, but...
Why surprising?
Because
there's great musicians everywhere.
It's true. Yeah.
There's great musicians everywhere, every country, every city, you know. But it's true when you make a little bit of name in New York, the rest of the world knows about you. But there's fantastic musicians all over, you know, Detroit, Minneapolis, all over the States and all over the world. I think it's the most important instrument in the sense that if you have a band where the drummer is not so good, but everyone else is excellent, and then you have another band where the drummer is terrible, where the drummer is terrible, and everybody else, the band that will sound better is the better with the better drummer. So it's the most responsibility, you know. It's the heart, you know. If the drums are there, then everything else can sound good. So it's hard in that respect, you know. You have a lot of responsibility. You know. We play, this band is a mutual project. Reut is the leader, I'm the co-leader, and then we play with some bands that hire both of us, but we play with different bands, like Reut said, different kinds of music, different styles. We found him in Austria, in a bar. He was lonely and he was very sad. We felt, no, I'm kidding. We met Andrea actually, yes, in Austria. He came to see a duo show that we play. And he really liked it, and we really connected on a human level. And then we needed a bass player, and we took a risk, and it was fantastic. And we play with Andrea for the past 4 or 5 years all over the world. It's been fun. It's been great.